Hi, welcome to the preliminary tutorial for Fly Me to the Moon. In other words, this is the tutorial, the video that's going to get you ready to play the song, the whole song, Fly Me to the Moon. First of all, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get your music sheet, Fly Me to the Moon in the key of E minor for ukulele, and then come on back. On this particular lesson, you don't have to tune up your ukulele. The main thing is just get your music sheet, come on back, pause the tutorial, get your music sheet, and come on back. We'll start in about a second. Okay, so you got your music sheet, and how we always should prepare for playing a song. So when we got a song that we're going to play, we don't just start playing unless the song has a lot of easy chords. Now this particular song, Fly Me to the Moon, there might be some chords that you haven't seen before. So in that case, what we want to do is we want to look at the chords and get familiar with them. So we're going to just concentrate on the first verse, because basically all the verses kind of repeat the same chordal structure. So we want to be able to make the chords. So as we look at the chords, we want to just make them. We're not going to make them in any kind of rhythmic pattern or strumming or anything. We're not really going to play the ukulele. We just want to be able to make the chords. Look at the chords, get familiar with them, then we're going to make them in a second. Now, I didn't list C, A minor, D7, E7 because those are chords that we already know that you should have already have learned in the previous courses, and these should pretty much be easy for you to make those chords. Okay, so the way you want to prepare for a song is you got your music sheet. Okay, so we got our music sheet. I'm just going to look at the first verse, use that as an example for the lesson. And as I'm looking at the first verse, I'm looking at the chords that I'm making. E minor 7, next chord is an A minor 7, next chord is a D9, etc. Now, take note. You see the E minor 7, the E minor 7. At this level, we don't usually put on the fingering because we pretty much want to be able to adapt to the style that we play. Now, it's very helpful if we think in the way that when we make our chords, if possible, we want to make our chords easily so that we can get into the next chord easily. Okay? So in other words, here's an E minor 7. My next chord is an A minor 7. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my middle finger and drop it down into an A minor 7. You see how my finger never left the fretboard? You see my middle finger never leaves the fretboard. Now some people, they might make their E minor like this, E minor 7 like this. Now if you do that, that's fine, but the only thing with this is that when you go to an A minor 7, watch what happens. I have to take both fingers off to make an A minor 7. Okay? On the next line, here's a D9. By the way, a D9 over here. If you take away this note, see this note right here? I'm taking it away. Look very closely. It looks exactly like a D7. Here we add a 9. Okay, so the next second line says, "And let me play among the stars." Second line in the first verse. We got a D9. Okay, when we go to a D7, we're just dropping down, holding 3 strings. We got the G major 7. Notice that the G major 7 is different from is a G capital M 7. It's the same thing as the G major 7 written the other way. So keep that note in mind. Next line, the C, the A minor, you know, and after the C and A minor is an F sharp 7. F sharp 7, which is 1/2 step above an F7. Now what's interesting is that here's your F sharp 7 right here. It's also known as G flat 7. G flat 7. These two names are interchangeable. They're the same chord but interchangeable. Now on your chord chart, you're not going to find an F sharp 7, but you will find a G flat 7, and that's the same chord. I use the F sharp 7 mainly because there's one sharp in the key of E minor and it's an F sharp. So that's basically why I use the F sharp 7. But in general, keep in mind that the sharps and the 7s are interchangeable. So this is the same chord work. This is the same chord work. Okay, so there's one more chord that I didn't put on the board, and that's an E9. Okay, but I'm going to let you refer to the chord chart so that you can learn it, and it's good practice to go refer to the chord chart and learn the E9 chord. And don't forget to highlight the chords that you are learning, have learned, or have seen, because it helps to trigger your memory to the chords you know, are learning, or at least familiar with it. So it's really helpful for memorizing and remembering chords. So please do that. Once again, before you start the song, at least go through the first verse and do all the chords, and if you can do it smoothly, okay, then try maybe the whole song, go through the whole song, just doing all the chords. You're not really playing, all you're doing is just making the chords: A minor 7, A minor 7, D9, G major 7, C, A minor, F sharp 7. Okay, so basically you're going through the whole song like that. Once you can do that smoothly, go on to the next video, next tutorial, which is the whole song to Fly Me to the Moon, and you're gonna find that it's much more fun and you'll be much more successful in just playing along with the song with very few mistakes. Okay, so if you need to rewind this tutorial to listen to it again, by all means. If not, and you're ready, we look forward to seeing you at the next lesson where we'll play the song Fly Me to the Moon.